Great use of the terrain around, utilizing the foliage, get close to the rock. Probably not the best to run underneath the street light. Not a fan of how this is the second time in the open without being behind cover. They pulled out the tablet and locked on or done something with the target. We should be finding some cover for that before they do that. Yeah, I wish we had the ability to have those many different weapons on the field. That'd be great. I mean, for them to pull a secondary out, they better be out of ammo in the primary. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Reeves, Navy SEAL, and today on Experts React, we're going to be checking out Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which I think is actually helped develop by a good buddy of mine, another Navy SEAL, Miguel Vega. So I'm really looking forward to see what he put together. Let's dive in and check it out. So it's interesting when we see people coming through points of check or checkpoints like this or interesting things you always look to see at what's strange, weird, and out of place. And so if you're looking around and somebody's acting unnatural, that's a good indicator. It's interesting when you tell people that a cruising altitude at 35,000 feet is where Naval Special Warfare and other units are actually trained to jump out of. It's a bit suspect, somebody looking over your shoulder, noticing your family. Multiple dudes in hoods, not a good look. So as you get through security, that must be a polymer gun. Made of plastic components all the way through. Gotta be careful, this is what you can do with 3D printing. It can be very good training right there. Nice work. Love the decisive action. Took control of the barrel and then got hit from behind and smacked. You know, it's interesting in a real world situation like that, you see so many people with hoods on walking around. I wonder how many people would actually pick up on that.
Get this off me, you son of a...
That's a difficult position. Obviously, you don't want to be put in it, but you're outnumbered.
You're a terrorist. You're Russian. This plane is full of Russians. How could you kill your own people?
No, I'm not killing them.
That's an interesting point of view. If you remember back in the 1980s, when there was a hostage situation inside of a movie theater, and the Russians came in and went full blaze, like, if you happened to be in the way, that was unfortunate. Now, this is actually inaccurate. If you were to look at this, they're at cruising altitude and nobody's on oxygen, the depressurization of that plane is so severe would have a massive effect, and they would have a very limited time to actually breathe on that.
You terrorist.
No.
When you think about it, at an altitude of 35,000 feet at cruising altitude, every 1,000 feet up is 3 degrees less. So if you're at 80-degree day down on the ground, it's like somewhere around minus 15 when you're up at that altitude. That sucks. And then you're doing at least the cruising altitude, unless they slowed the plane down to about 120 miles an hour, 120 knots, which is very difficult in a big plane like that because that's almost landing speed. Then for them to open up the door, the massive depressurization, for them to be breathing at that altitude, there's a lot of things to consider on that whole scenario which they just showed. That actually could take down the plane, massive depressurization. So yeah, I love the aspect of it for the storyline, but reality of it, that's a bit much.
Give me the cell phone.
There's a lot going on in the last couple seconds there. What it shows you, it's an interesting scenario which just shows you that the chaos that can happen, and when people panicking and for their life, all sensibility goes out the window. People all of a sudden start thinking of everything else but what they should do to survive the situation. I love strong females. Absolutely, I think they're phenomenal. But I also think when you look at, and I know it's kind of controversial these days, if you saw the female punch the dude in the face, and when you've got a metal or polymer object in your hand, that actually can do some damage. Would it knock a guy out like it would in the beginning? Maybe, depending on where she struck him. She struck him in the jaw, jostling his brain around, definitely could. Would it hurt him and put him back? Sure. Which I guess you saw then come up from behind and hit her in the head, which ultimately then knocked her out. Yeah, I guess we didn't see what was happening behind. That whole scenario, right there at the beginning, where right there at the end, where the guy was trying to force her, where she's able to get back, and then the phone went off and detonated the aircraft. That's unfortunate, but it is fascinating when you look at Western ideology or mentality versus what can happen over on the Eastern side. So far as Russian side, they look at human life differently. Everywhere looks at human life differently other than the United States. And sometimes our enemies use that against us because we do value and other countries do not. It's an interesting clip. It's be fun to actually put people in simulations like that, see what they would do. So it was that.
Voice recorder that is a crucial part of the investigation. Video from passengers.
God, if anybody did survive that crash. The Holy Spirit's on their side, that's for sure. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, things that we actually use. A couple of dirt bikes. I love the fact that, like, in Special Warfare, all the different tools and toys we get to play with to go do our jobs. It is fan, and then the things that are built for us to go do it. That's one of the things I miss most about it.
We need to find out what happened on that flight.
Gear is accurate. I had gear that looked like what the Germans were.
Terrorists. Not again.
That's pretty cool. Good attention to detail in the game.
Take some high ground and cover me.
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing you have to be careful of is at night, surrounded by mountains, revving an engine, that will echo in that environment. It's fascinating. She already took out 2 dudes. So they should be alerted that she's there. A dove liquid that came out of the guy's head. Hilarious. Great use of the terrain around, utilizing the foliage, get close to the rock. Probably not the best to run underneath the street light. Utilizing lasers at night is phenomenal. You have those things dialed in. It is such a great asset. You don't even have to be looking through the optic at that point. Night vision, hold it up. Laser hits it. Pull the trigger. Good use staying down, working the angles, minimizing her signature. Love it. Low crawling, very good. Good job to the player. Staying low. I agree. With the weapon that she has, she should be able to hit all the targets in her area. She needs to really reach out and touch someone. That other weapon she just came across would be ideal for that. But where she's at now, she's more versatile. So that's a great thing they just showed. Height over bore, the optic, and the distance off the board. You just saw that even though she saw it on her optic, when she shot, she still hit the object she was trying to shoot around. That happens real world. You gotta get used to. It's called height over bore. You have to adjust for that. Good use of a secondary. Love it. She was engaged, went dry, pull up her secondary, put down the threat. As soon as she could, get right back to the primary. Outstanding. Good job. We don't see that a lot. I'd be getting out of this area personally because everybody's going to be coming in on you because they know where you're coming from. Get out from underneath those lights. Get out from get in the shadows.
It's shaking.
Especially just standing there. Keep moving, keep moving. Don't just stand there. Yeah, getting lit up. Just a whipping? Okay. Well, clear that building that you're in if you're going to get in there. There you go. Get behind that object. Right here would be a good time to combat reload, which even though you're not blank, if you're not bingo on ammo, you can still put in a fresh mag to engage a firefight and keep that one even though you a couple rounds less than that if you need to. Magnet fire, that's really interesting.
Alex, I found another one.
What do you see?
I see a woman with a gun. Somehow.
Not a fan of how this is the second time in the open without being behind cover they pulled out the tablet and locked on or done something with the target. They should be finding some cover for that before they do that. That's my only negative with her so far.
Could be a phone in there.
I like that actually we're moving pretty fast through open areas, but moving in the open through open areas, again, third time in the open, utilizing that rather than taking cover. That's what makes us susceptible. Only negative right now with the player. See, I'm not sure why you go to a secondary because you have a primary right there. Primary is very effective. Let's use a secondary for a later time. Yeah, I wish we had the ability to have those many different weapons on the field. That'd be great. I mean, for them to pull a secondary out, they better be out of ammo in the primary. Just be getting that back up as fast as possible. You typically have more rounds and at longer distance, more effective. Why would you use a secondary, which has limited range, when you've got a primary for that? Good game. I like the graphics in it. My only negatives of the whole thing is from the game player point of view is standing in the middle of the open with the tablet, checking on hacking a target or whatever. I mean, unless you have to be up on a target for distance-wise in order to do that, and then because the object is in the open exposed, sure. But as far as, and I don't know why people do it. I know in the comments in the past that people have actually said, man, he must hate secondaries or something like that. But if you've got a primary with a more effective range and you've got more bullets with it, why would you take it to the side to pick up a lesser firearm to engage bad guys with, which is actually a pistol is a much more difficult firearm to hit objects with because your whole sight picture, the slides and the optics are moving. Unlike on a rifle, the best way they showed how to do that is like they had the primary up, they went big on ammo, they dropped to the side, picked up a secondary, put up a bunch of lead, got to cover, and immediately mag change. That was perfect in the sense of how to use primary and secondary in a case like that. Overall, it was really good. I'd be interested to know, there's something you got to think about is because of the crashing plane in the air. air, and one thing you got to worry about is all the gases and fumes and chemicals that are burning that you're inhaling coming off that thing, which here nor there in video game, but real world, that's definitely something you got to consider when you show up to something like that, because you have all the flammable liquids, you got all the different materials inside that thing that are burning. It is a consideration when you show up to a target like that. But cool game. I do like it. I like the effective use of coming near a vehicle. I like the effective use of using some angles that the full game player did. Probably move a bit more and not stay in some of the positions that they had, especially underneath some lights, but I liked it. I really liked it. If you want to see more fantastic video content like this, go check out Facebook and YouTube and follow Experts React. If you want to see more what I'm up to, look me up on Instagram at official Jeff Reeves.